All right, welcome to Dime to Diamonds. I am Suzanne Porske, owner of Phoenix Financial Group. I am joined in studio today with
Rachelle Harp, CPA here in Broken Arrow.
And our
Michael Spurgeon.
Michael Spurgeon, yes, our city manager.
Yes.
We're excited today. We have a big bond to vote on April 7th. And not only just for myself, but for all of our listeners and the people that maybe had some questions about it. He has been gracious enough to come in. We thank you so much. We're just going to drill you.
Let's go for it.
Yes. All right.
Excited.
So talk to us about, I know that it's not just one proposition. It's like there's 8 of them, but 7 are in the go bond, or is it 8 in the go bond?
Actually, there's 8 total propositions.
Okay.
7 of those relate to property taxes.
Okay.
And then the proposition number 8 is related to a temporary increase in sales tax, which will be dedicated for improvements to our sports facilities within the community.
Which we were talking about. It's awesome because there's other people that are coming in. Like Rachelle and I have workshops, and the people who do our marketing, they're very rarely in Broken Arrow. So we're getting people from Bartlesville and Jinx and all that. They come in, they have lunch, they buy things. So they're helping pay. Is that what you're telling me? And then these sports complex, when these tournaments come.
That's a great point. So our sports facilities, mainly Arrowhead Sports Complex, Nienhaus Park, and Indian Springs Sports Complex, are 3 main parks, and it houses football and lacrosse at Nienhaus. It's girls fast pitch at Arrowhead, and then you have a combination at Indian Springs Sports Complex. You have soccer, you have baseball, and you have adult softball. And so you've got 3 down at Indian Springs Sports Complex. It's been many years since they've actually had major upgrades or improvements to the facilities. And so the city council decided that our capacity to keep the tax rate the same for propositions 1 through 7 was at $415 million, yet all the sports organizations came to the council and said, could we include a proposition to upgrade our facilities? And so your point is correct, is that approximately 50% of the sales tax that's generated in Broken Arrow comes from individuals that live outside of our city, whether they come in for work or for recreation. And so proposition number 8, I think, is really cool because 100% of the tax burden, if it passes, is not on Broken Arrow taxpayers.
That's wonderful.
It is $53 million is what would be generated approximately over 5 years. Half of that would be from Broken Arrow residents, half would be more from outside the city. And what I'm excited about this is that if the proposition passes, you're going to see additional tournaments. You're going to see larger tournaments for soccer, for baseball, girls fast pitch for sure. And what's going to happen is you're going to have more people coming into the community for the restaurants, hotels, ancillary services that they need to go to Dick's Sporting Goods, for example, or go to Walmart or Target. And there's a hidden jewel that's getting ready to contribute as well. The amphitheater is going to open in October, which is going to be more people into our community to actually spend dollars before or after concerts.
That's awesome.
And I can also speak to that. When I was growing up, I played softball, and we traveled and we did tournaments, but they're never here in Oklahoma. You have to go up to Kansas or to all these other locations for the national tournament. So that was our vacation. That's where we went and spent all the extra money. And when you're there vacationing, you spend more money than you do on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's a great opportunity for our kids.
Well, let me just share this, is that 20 years or so ago, the 3 best places in the Midwest to actually play youth sports was Kansas City, Broken Arrow, and the Dallas area. Well, what has happened is those areas above and below us, they started installing natural turf, which means you've essentially taken the weather out of whether or not the tournament is going to make and finish. Now, obviously, if it rains the whole time, when you have natural turf, you're just waiting for the rain to stop, and because the drainage system that's built under the natural turf, you're just waiting for the rain to stop so it can drain off so you can play. Well, they made those improvements above us and below us. We were not able to do that because of other priorities in a fast-growing community. Well, Northwest Arkansas actually came in and started making improvements. So now it's essentially Kansas City, Northwest Arkansas, sometimes Broken Arrow, and then it's Dallas. So what this has done is it's taken us off the map, because you're talking in some cases for baseball and for fast pitch softball, it could be 3 and 4 nights that the kids are here with their parents and grandparents, and folks are not going to take a chance and spend that kind of money in the tournament and not make, or get rained out halfway in the middle of it, and so they've gone elsewhere. Well, by installing the natural turf, and we've got an amazing plan that, in terms of implementation, it's going to put us back on the map to where it is Kansas City. Broken Arrow will compete with West Arkansas, and I think we'll win out because I think we're just a better place to play, and then Dallas, and then you'll see everybody in that circuit.
Oh, that'll be awesome. For those that don't know what a general obligation bond is, could you explain it?
Oh, absolutely. So under the Oklahoma State Constitution and state statutes, you are allowed to go to your voters and ask them to approve bonds that can be issued to pay for public improvements.
Right.
And then a portion of their property taxes that is the voters approve of the proposition help pay for the repayment of those bonds, just like a mortgage. If you buy a house, you have to make payments to pay off. Our bonds are issued for 20 years. We issue bonds every single year. So what has happened about 30 years ago, the city started going to the voters asking for improvements, primarily with what I like to call asphalt and concrete, streets and roads, sidewalks, curbs. And then over the years, we've not been 100% streets and roads. We've started parceling out some of what we could actually ask voters for into public safety. And then it was like public safety and streets. And then it became streets, public safety, parks and recreation. And then it became streets, public safety, parks and recreation, and stormwater drainage. And so as we've grown, we've had to start focusing on other quality of life amenities rather than just streets and roads. And so what we've done is about every few years we've gone to the citizens and asked if they would approve these bond packages. And we're at the point where, because of growth and paying off previous bonds, that we can keep the tax rate the same.
And that's so important. I want you to repeat that. The tax rate is going to stay the same.
That's exactly right. That's
Okay.
what we're asking our citizens, is that they would approve propositions 1 through 7, which would keep the tax rate the same that they're currently paying over the 10 years of the issuance. So how do you actually issue bonds? Well, there's bonds that have been paid off. We're still paying on bonds for 20 years from the 2008 issuance, 2011, 14, and 18. So as those bonds roll off, it creates capacity dollar-wise to put towards the new bonds. And as the community grows with new homes, new businesses, that creates additional revenue that can be combined together to be able to pay for the notes associated with the bonds that we issue.
And we use the word bond, we're really talking about a loan. Like from an individual standpoint, that's just going to be a loan that, like a car loan or something that got paid off, and now you can purchase another car. That's kind of the concept that we're looking at when we use the word bond, right?
100% correct.
Okay.
We just, if the voters approve all 7 propositions or any of the propositions, each year we will take out a loan to do the projects that we specifically list. And so the total package right now for 1 through 7 has approximately 90 projects in it. For Proposition 1 is your streets and roads, all the way to Proposition 7, which is the partnership with the library. So every year of the 10-year package, we have to look and see how much we can issue, and then we associate projects with that amount. And some projects, because of the expense of them, we have to issue bonds, and we have to accumulate over a couple of years to have enough money to be able to complete that project, because we have other projects that will actually be funded as well.
Are they all separate propositions in there?
Yes, it's actually 8 votes.
Right.
It is not what you could call a winner-take-all. One
Right.
vote decides all 8 propositions. You have to actually go into the polling place, and when you vote, you have to vote on all 8 projects.
Have you seen the ballot? Are we going to have that where I forgot to flip mine over?
Actually, in 2018, some folks did not turn the ballot over. Yes, we've actually been posting the ballot, the sample ballot. We'll continue to later this week and early to remind folks that there are propositions on the back. And so when you go to the polls and you get your actual ballot, just make sure to remember to flip it over, because there's several on the back.
Yeah, so we were asking you to go out and vote
Yes.
8 times and vote yes on all 8 propositions.
Yes.
What happens if one of the propositions doesn't pass?
So there's 8 total. If one of the propositions doesn't pass, then what I would think would happen is during the upcoming budget session, we'd have a conversation with the city council, the city administration would, and then we would probably do a post survey of the community and ask them what was it about that proposition that they didn't like. And at that point, council would take that data and the results of that survey, and would determine is that something that they want to actually modify the projects that were in that package, and then maybe submit something to the voters at a later date.
So does the project go away though? So, I mean, or is there money somewhere else that would cover that? So say it was one of the facilities here and they need some money for maintenance or different things like that. How is that going to happen?
So all of the facilities are in Proposition number 4, which is entitled City Facilities. So hypothetically, if Proposition number 4 did not pass, in that package you have number 1, the senior citizen. We're looking to actually expand the existing senior facility on the east side of the road. It's got the second phase of the Arts 302. Oh. It has potentially a new military history center, an expansion of the current Veterans Center, and then one of the most important projects is our History Museum. So you have those 5 facilities. It's got the Rose District Plaza expansion. It also has several city facilities. So if, in fact, that failed, we'd have to do a discussion about that because there's, for example, our senior center, our senior program is by far arguably the best in the state of Oklahoma.
Absolutely, positively. I have clients that come in here and I don't want to retire, but I have to retire because I don't know what to do. I'm like, we're going to go down to the senior center. It was one of the first things I did is became a member. I said, it's amazing what they have, like 118 programs a week going on over there.
They do. Well, first I want to say is that I think they surpassed 3,200 members.
Yes.
And they're averaging around 600 seniors per day. And today's seniors, respectfully, are a little bit different than the seniors, say, 15, 20 years ago. Many of them are still incredibly active. And so, like you said, the number of programs that they have and activities, for example, the new facility would have pickleball courts inside where folks would actually be able to play pickleball. We took a look at the current design of the program. Is right now we have facilities on the east and west side. Well, the one on the west side was an old church, which means you're limited in actually how you can expand it. So we decided, and to present to council accepted it, and the board for the seniors recommended it, is that we would abandon the west side and we would basically expand what is known as the senior annex to be more square footage than the two put together. And then the city could then look at a reuse of that facility, whether it's for a public or private use. And what you happen is you'd have the senior center all on the east side of the road.
Beautiful.
And you would expand the programs that the seniors want to remain active.
I mean, you could belly dance. There's all kinds of classes.
It's amazing what you can do.
I had a client come in the other day, and I said, "Are you okay?" She goes, "I'm exhausted. I just got done beating." She was beaten. She calls it drums, but it's the ball. And she goes, I laid it all out. She goes, all the frustrations and all that. And I go, okay. She goes, I love the senior center. And they have the meals for, I think, $1. The lunches over there, all kinds of stuff.
It's one of the premier services we provide to our citizens, and it is by far the best in the state of Oklahoma. I can't count the number of communities that come to take a look at our operation and facilities and how they covet what Broken Arrow has. And it's not exclusive for Broken Arrow. People in Widener County and others around the area choose to come because they just know that it's a great place to have fellowship, to stay active, and that's basically what people are looking for.
And they'll come pick them up.
Yes.
They pick them up and take them back. Yeah,
yes.
I think that's absolutely awesome. What percentage of votes is required for passage of each proposition?
Okay, so I'll start from the beginning. Proposition number 1, which is transportation, asphalt and concrete, I like to say, is 50% plus 1. Proposition number 2, which is public safety, is 50% plus 1.
Okay, and so describe, because I was going to have you go through each proposition. What's 2?
2 is public safety, and so in proposition number 2 are 2 fire stations.
Yes.
We are going to relocate what we call Central, which is at Main and Kenosha.
Yes.
We're going to relocate that eventually to somewhere in the northwest part of our community because we have station number 7 at Washington and South Main. So that can cover the central part of our community. So to give better coverage to the northwest part of the community, if the voters approve it, we will move Central up to the northwest part of the community, somewhere around Battle Creek, for example. There's also a 9th fire station that could be out somewhere near the new amphitheater. That'll be further into the package, but our population growing, making sure that everyone has the run times needed to save lives, we're going to need a 9th station someday.
Well, I was just talking to somebody when I was at the Capitol, our chief, and I said, yeah, my husband, 18 minutes it took because of how far out we are. when he had his stroke. It's the longest 18 minutes of your life when it's your loved one. And he said that's part of the bond. We're trying to increase. The city is growing. We're spreading out. And so we need these new stations like you're just saying. So we're going to keep telling you need to vote yes on all of these. I'm telling you from my heart, I've read them all. And if there was anything that was contrary, we'd be talking about it. I'm telling you, these are all fantastic. And your property taxes are not going to go up.
Well, I would say there's some other cool things in Proposition number 2. Number 1 is we're going to expand the animal shelter.
Oh.
That's an exciting initiative. There are new fire trucks for our fire stations, new ambulances. There's also expansion of the classrooms at the training center because our police and fire, they train on a regular basis.
Yes.
So when the bell goes off or the phone call comes in, they know what to do,
right.
and that's because they train. So that's Proposition number 2. Proposition number 3, it's called Quality of Life. It's actually Parks and Recreation. There's like 20, trying to think how many projects there are in there, but I know they're like, for example, there's $5 million to basically go and upgrade all of our neighborhood parks in the community.
Oh, wonderful.
There's a new community center proposed in the southwest part of our city at Elam Park. And there are other improvements that we're doing around the community. Expansion of the sand volleyball. That's a big event.
Yeah.
2 pickleball courts, a new dog park in the northwest part of our community. The north to northwest part of our community hasn't been decided yet. That's Prop 3. Prop 4 is the city facilities that I mentioned, which are basically, this is why I think Proposition number 4, the senior citizens facility. Obviously, that's probably the number 1 priority. But one of the goals that the council members have, and it's my job to try to implement this, is that while we're still growing as a community, we're growing about 1.5% per year, we still want to maintain that small town feel.
Yes.
And you do that by what they call placemaking, which you give folks an opportunity to gather.
Right.
For example, in 2015, when we did the tree lighting ceremony,
right.
there were probably 500 people that came to the tree lighting ceremony. Last November, when we did the tree lighting ceremony for 2025, we had almost 11,000 people. Well, just imagine if eventually the Rose District Plaza expanded, and we can actually, we'll have a stage that will be there,
right.
and you expand that entire area. Or if Arts 302 expands, their programs are amazing. The Military History Center, we're looking at creating a veterans tourism initiative when we move the Military History Center. All of these things cause people to come together, and helps, the events we have downtown,
right.
the parades we have, all those maintain that small town feel in Broken Arrow. So Prop 4 are city facilities. Now, Prop 5 and 6 relate to stormwater and drainage. We're a community that's over 100 years old, which means that there are areas where you need creek bank stabilization. There are retention basins, detention basins within these neighborhoods that need help. So Proposition 5 and 6 relate to when we have to do road widenings or we have to do other public improvements. There's stormwater work that has to be done. Well, these propositions need 60%. Both 5 and 6 need 60%.
Oh.
And the reason why is because by state statute, if you're going to spend public dollars on private property, you have to have a higher level of percentage by the voters. For example, in 2018, there was a serious drainage stormwater issue coming from a public source that was causing flooding at Indian Springs Golf Course and that neighborhood that's right down there. And so in order to fix that and actually spend dollars on public dollars on private property, we had to get 60% of the voters, and so it passed by 74%. It was, I think, the highest vote getter, if I remember correctly. So we need 60% for both of those, because there will be opportunities where we can help neighborhoods where they have creek bank stabilization problems. For example, Proposition number 7 is the partnership with the library, 50+1.
Now tell me about that.
So the Tulsa City County Library District came to the city about 18 months ago and said that Broken Arrow's South Broken Arrow Library was a part of their plan to actually build a new facility. And altogether, when you add the construction and the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, the FF&E they call it, it's a $13 million project. And they're not proposing any type of increase in their levy. They're trying to accumulate funds from private sources or savings and operations to accumulate the money. Well, obviously, they don't have the total amount, and so we conducted a survey, and that's what I've mentioned this at all the meetings we've had, is we did 7 surveys of our citizens and asked them about everything from streets and roads to public safety to parks and recreation to the library. And so the library got 4,200 responses in that survey. Overwhelmingly, people said they'd be willing to contribute funds for this partnership to actually build a new library just east of their current one off of New Orleans, between Aspen and Elm, double the size of the library. And so there's a $4 million proposal in Proposition number 7 that if it passes, then basically the city would reimburse them $4 million because they plan, if this passes, for they actually go to construction probably in the spring of next year. So that takes 50 plus 1. And then finally, Proposition number 8 is 50 plus 1.
Okay. Can we go back to the library, though? Because
Sure.
I want to understand who uses the library. And I think this is the impact that people need to understand is, my understanding was it's one of the largest homeschooled locations.
Yes. So in Tulsa County, there are 24 library facilities. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that libraries are just as relevant and contemporary today as I believe they ever were.
Yes.
And in Broken Arrow, the South Broken Arrow Library is the number 5th highly trafficked activity usage in the entire county, number 5. A large portion of that is because of homeschoolers. Is actually the parents, primarily in Broken Arrow, are taking their kids to that library and getting everything they need to make sure their kids meet the curriculum associated with secondary education.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting to see how many families use, and you can tell from the response in the survey, 4,200 votes, about how important that library is. And so they've got everything. I mean, obviously, there are some families in our community that don't have access to internet.
I was going to say, yeah, because my daughter is 32 years old. I homeschooled in California, Southern California, and the library was every day. Because you're studying something. It's a great environment to thrive, and then there's community. And then they have great programs.
They do. I can tell you, Kim Johnson, the executive director, she lives in Broken Arrow. We're neighbors. We live in the same development. Has a huge passion for not only for libraries, but also has been a great partner with the city. It's exciting to see that actually we could see a doubling of the size of that library to continue to support those that need those services within our community.
And I attended one of the city council meetings before the city council members voted to go forward with this. And I think the most impactful piece of it was one of the homeschool groups came up and talked about how important it was and how excited they were to go there and learn. So I just want people to understand who they're actually voting and giving this money to, and it's the kids, to make a better life for the future. So
it is. I mean, you think about the things that are happening that are exciting our community that sometimes people don't look at it from a larger visionary perspective. We have an incredible opportunity to keep our kids here and our grandkids here, which socially and personally we'd all love to see that. NSUBA is now a 4-year university.
I know, it's wonderful.
They had almost 400 students sign up for first year, second year classes. Eventually, I believe you're going to see dormitories.
Right.
There's also other institutions in our Tulsa metropolitan area that are looking to how we take SB 701 and turn that into more public education. What's going to happen is we're going to keep our kids here. The library system is an important element and use of facility for our kids and our adults. And so to me, when you think about responsibility of government, having library that actually is supportive of contemporarily providing the services that the kids and adults need today is extremely important. And through the operational efforts and the possibility of Proposition number 7, we could get a brand new facility.
So when this passes on April 7th, when can we see projects starting?
So I'll start with in a backward sense.
Okay.
With Proposition number 8, because that's where you're going to see the first action taken.
I think you said the library in the spring.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll see some action on Proposition 8 this year, and I'll explain that.
Okay.
And then I've been assured by the library that if in fact it passes, they will actually go out to bid and start construction in the spring of next year.
Wow.
So let's go back to 2026. So what's cool and exciting there's many things about Proposition number 8. One of the things that council members have said when I brought this to them, and they had to think about it and mull it over for many months, they said, let's get in and get out, because our kids and grandkids deserve to use those facilities quickly and not drag it out over 10 to 12 years. And so we did a survey last fall to ask folks if they'd be willing to support this temporary increase in sales tax for 5 years. We had 3,304 people took the survey. And you only need 600 people surveying Broken Arrow to give you a good pulse. 3,304 people took the survey. 68% said they would support the temporary increase in sales tax. 88% of those people that took it were registered voters in Broken Arrow. So here's how we're going to present this. If it passes on April 8th, the second meeting in May, just less than 45 days, we're going to present a contract to council to actually to select a construction manager that will begin the process of designing the improvements at all of the facilities. And we will be through with the design within approximately 1 year. And as soon as the designs are done, we're working closely with the sports organizations.
Okay.
We will actually immediately go to construction, which means all the improvements, and sometime in 2027, we'll go out to bid. All of the improvements will be done within 3 years. So the kids and grandkids will be using those facilities, I believe, sometime in 2028, early 29 at the latest. So that's the first thing you're going to see is immediately awarding a contract for a construction manager in architectural services, engineering, to get Proposition 8 started. Now, with respect to Propositions 1 through 7, I'm going to say this, is that it's $415 million total for 1 through 7, but it's not $415 million divided by 10, or we can't sell $41,500,000 every single year, because in order to keep the tax rate the same, we have to look at what's been paid off and what the increase in the assessed value is from new homes and businesses, and then we have to determine how much we can sell based on that by keeping the tax rate at 16.49 is what it is right now. So the first sale may be only $1 million, and the second sale may be only about $21 million, but then it starts to kind of go up a little higher as we move out. So I have to look at the amount of money and what projects that we can sell this year, and I present that to the council every year in the annual budget, and then we sell those bonds or wet loan usually in the fall of whatever year that we're in. So you'll start to see the city sell some bonds, not a whole lot in 2026, but in 2027 you'll start to see the city selling bonds. And I can tell you there's already a couple of roads in town that we had the design money from 2018.
Okay.
So, like, for example, Tucson between Aspen and Olive, where the Home Depot is going in, that could be one of the first roads that actually goes under construction because the design is already done. Also, New Orleans, from Olive to Garnett, the county Tulsa County finally got the funding they needed to raise and to widen Garnett from 91st to 101st. That'll be done, but you could see New Orleans because we've already done the design. But there's a couple of roads like Omaha between Aspen and Elm Place. That's another project that's got major capacity issues at the intersection and on the road. So you're going to start to see those three roads, probably the first three we will do. And then we'll take a look at how much that we could sell every year, and I'll make that recommendation to the council, and council will approve it, and then we'll sell those bonds for design, right-of-way, utility relocation for roads. But then we'll also look at the facilities, and right now I would think the senior center we're probably going to look for ways to try to forward fund that in order to get that senior center built in a timely fashion. So that's exciting. That's all the mad scientist chemistry of how do we make the bond package work. And I'm not going to get presumptuous. I'm going to wait till after the vote, and everything, whatever passes, we'll sit down and lay all that out to the governing body, because they make the final decision. I don't. I make a recommendation, then they'll look at it, they'll have a public discussion about it, then they'll decide.
These are all so exciting, and this is why we're asking you to go out and vote yes on all 8 propositions. One of the things I want to say is where we ranked, and do you think that propositions like this, going out and voting yes, do you think that is what puts us in those rankings?
Well, U.S. News World Report last May indicated in their surveys that Broken Arrow was ranked the 12th best city in the country to live in for 2025 and 2026. They updated that rating back in January to say that we were the 6th best medium-sized city in America. Also, we've seen surveys and basically accolades for one of the best main streets in town. I believe that those accolades can be directly attributed to the citizens of Broken Arrow and the businesses.
And great city managers.
Well, to me, I'm just the communicator.
Right, you're the communicator, but we need a communicator to communicate and pull everybody together. You have a vision, and you're able to tell the vision, and that's what excites me. And that's why I came here. I mean, I moved and then brought my business from Tulsa to downtown Broken Arrow Main Street because of the vision. And
well, I would just say this is that, my ability is predicated on the support of the mayor and council. And actually, a lot of the vision is their vision. Our vision together and the partnership that we have as the legislative branch, the old Schoolhouse Rock cartoon from the 70s, early 80s, is council is the legislative branch. The city manager is the executive branch, and the vision that we share together. But I will tell you is I believe the success of Broken Arrow is because of the people and the businesses that have made investments. So this may sound a little, kind of sensitive or sentimental, but we all stand on the shoulders that people came before us.
Yes.
8 times in the last 27 or 28 years, Broken Arrow owners have gone to the polls, and they have approved every package of propositions for improvements. And so we stand on their shoulders because without those folks approving those bonds and starting in 97 and then 2004 and 8 and 11 and 14 and 18 respectively, okay, we wouldn't be able to have this generational type package of improvements for basic infrastructure, but also the other improvements that maintain a great quality of life. For example, the Rose District Plaza, Arts 302, the Senior Center, the sports facilities, and also taking care of the library. So our community, it's the people, because I believe the outpouring of support that they've shown the city, and obviously you get on social media, you can get a little down a little bit because there's no accountability for people saying negative things, unfortunately. But I stay focused on, I believe that this community knows the importance of investments and reinvestments.
Right.
And so I feel really good that we've come April 6th, day before the election, we will probably have had 75 meetings. Right now, we've been before almost 1,500 residents, and the support that we've got from either direct comments, feedback has been overwhelmingly supportive because they understand that they want to maintain a great quality of life. Now, do we have challenges as a city? Obviously, there's never ever enough money to do everything, okay? As we have roads that need to be widened. We have drainage that needs to be fixed, okay? We have parks that need to be upgraded. But what's really great about our community, which is unlike any I've ever served in, and that's why we're such a great community, is the folks understand is that we have to reinvest. We have to make investments, and that's why I believe
and to keep
where
our
we're
kids
at.
and grandkids here.
Yes, exactly.
So they'll want to come here. I know. Like I said, I moved my business here. I'm from Southern California and moved here. You just closed escrow a couple of days ago on your business here in Broken Arrow.
Yes.
And you actually live in Sand Springs.
Yeah.
So it's drawing. I mean, I've been here for many, many years, and then this part of the building came available and created a new business because I think it's that important. We have an amazing downtown. All of Broken Arrow is amazing. But yes, our main street is like a Hallmark movie to me.
It is, and what's interesting, the city council appointed a committee to actually, the Rose District is approximately 15 years old now, so council has appointed a citizens committee to work with the consultant to do a downtown master plan update to take a look at our successes, where there's opportunities for improvement and continued growth, to remain viable. I mean, our businesses down here need additional density of citizens and people coming down here, whether they live down here or they come down to support the businesses. And so that committee's going to get together and meet for about a year, and they're going to look at what opportunities there are to expand the business sector, as well as provide more
like the
parking
housing and stuff too. I mean,
Yes.
you guys have expanded the parking, and so I tell my clients, you don't get to park out front, which is a joy, because you get to park away and you get to walk over here and stop and get lunch and shop at the boutiques or get candles and soap, or for me it's chocolate.
I'll tell you, I mean, we have some amazing chocolate places now.
And
obviously,
ice cream. I keep saying I want to get over there.
It's incredible what we have here, and what's I would tell you, since COVID, there were a lot of people that live west of Broken Arrow that had never been over here, and now since COVID, I see those people. They put Broken Arrow. We all don't eat. No one eats at the same place all the time for dinner on Friday night or Saturday night or during the week. A lot of people that live west of Broken Arrow have now put Broken Arrow on their cycle. We had a lot of people coming east to the west of here, but now they're coming here because the safety. They come here because the quality of the food, the quality of the service, the friendliness of our citizens. And that's why I feel really good about this whole initiative. And you had asked me right before we went on the air, how am I doing and how's the council doing? Well, obviously,
ask if you're tired.
There's been some days when it's been a little bit challenging because I've had 5 and 6 presentations to do. But honestly, I think that's what the citizens of Broken Arrow deserve. I think that they deserve maximum attention from the council and the mayor, myself, and the senior leadership team to meet wherever we need to meet, to go where the citizens are, to talk to them about the importance of this bond package so they'll be well informed on it.
And I appreciate it because I've never been able to do this. We've never had a guest that we've allowed to come in here in our little woman cave.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Lori's like, hey. And I was like, well, actually, she said first, and I said, sure, who's this man?
Well, it's one of those. I definitely want to say thank you guys because you guys have done a great job educating, going out in the community, having the bond meetings and different things like that. But what other ways are people able to find out more information or ask questions? Because this is actually one of the most unique things I've seen is your little AI friend. So I would love to hear a little bit more about how they can get more information.
So working backwards, about 7 days ago, folks started to receive their voter guide at their home. So if you live in Broken Arrow, you receive your voter guide, which has all the information you need about all 8 propositions and renderings, sketches of what facilities could look like. So I've had a lot of comments. In fact, at our last public forum, we had several residents that came as a result of finding out about it and their voter guide. So they came and asked questions, and I fully anticipate they'll do the same thing at our last forum this Thursday. So that's number one. Number two is we do have an AI number that you can call, which actually you can ask the very nice young lady any questions you want about the bond package. And we're averaging about 15 to 20 calls per week of citizens that are actually calling and asking questions about what's in Proposition number 3, what's in Proposition number 4, how much money is included for the senior center, just those basic questions. And what's interesting is so far nobody's been able to stump her with the question. So it's exciting. So we have moved in the AI type era. We have a website that actually can get on to find out information that has the most frequently asked questions. And we still have a public forum this Thursday at 6:30 at Connect Church. Okay. So that's our final public forum. That'll be 4th one we've had in the last 35 days approximately. And we've got so many other organizations. And this is what's exciting about this bond package is, this was not, and I want to finish up with this, is that this bond package of projects and initiatives was not designed in a smoke-filled back room with the mayor and council and myself. What we did was we went out and we had a 2-year process, 7 surveys, community meetings, public forums, citizens groups with HOAs. So and what we're excited about is the projects that are in there, they essentially came from feedback we received from the citizens.
Yes, I got and it was a lengthy survey, and I'm like, I wonder if they care. I mean, this is awesome. And of course, someone asked my opinion. I'm a woman. Yeah, I just saddled up, and gave my opinion, and went through the whole thing. And then when I saw the propositions come out, it's like, wow, we're being heard, which is awesome.
Well, I mean, you think about it. When you go to the polls, you got to get out. You got to drive to the polls. You got to get out of your car. You got to go in. Got to show your ID. They check you off that basically you're eligible to vote in that district. They hand you a ballot. You go in the ballot. You make your decision. You basically put it in the machine. To fill out a survey, you got to set a time aside. You got to basically click on the link. You have to read the instructions. You have to answer the survey. Yes. You have to click and send and go in. Surveys are like voting in one respect. Okay, they're not exactly the same, but similar in the fact that think about this: only 600 people need to respond to a survey in Broken Arrow within a standard deviation of about 3% either way to get the pulse on Broken Arrow. Every single survey we actually did, all 7, the minimum number of votes we got was 2,200.
Yeah.
So that's 3.5 times up to the survey of the sports facilities, which is 3,300. All the way up to 4,200 for the library. So just think about the amount of time folks took to actually complete those surveys. And so we have a responsibility, which was really easy because the council said, we want the community to drive the project, because what better way to say which roads need to be widened, what intersections need to be upgraded, than ask the public because it's their money.
And who's driving them. That's,
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming out here today. Is there one last thing you want to tell people besides go vote yes?
Well, I can't. You all can say vote yes. I cannot as a city official. What I can say is that all the information is out there, and if you're still undecided about what to do, then I would utilize one of those pieces of information that is out there available to you. Contact your city council member, contact Mayor Wimpy, contact my office, and we'll answer those questions. Come out to our public forum on Thursday at 6:30. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Talk if your kids play sports. Talk to the leadership of that sports organization, albeit girls fast pitch or soccer or baseball, football, lacrosse, adult softball. Talk to the leadership of them. Ask them how important these improvements are. Talk to the chief of police. Talk to the fire chief, because all of the leadership of our team, they know the propositions and the projects as intimately as I do. And so ask questions. So when you go, take your voter guide to the poll. So when you go to the polls on April 7th, my goal is to make sure that the council, and my goal is to make sure you have all the information you need. And so there's still just 8 days left. And so I'd encourage everybody to, if you're still undecided, to have conversations, come out to public forum, and most importantly is make sure you vote on April 7th.
Yes. And we're going to ask that you vote yes on 8 propositions. Yes. Flip the ballot over.
Yes. Education is empowerment, and that's what we stand for here. So thank you so much for joining us today. You've been listening to Dime to Diamonds. I am Suzanne Porske with Phoenix Financial Group.
Rachelle Harp.
And Michael Spurgeon, our city manager. Thank you. Bye.